Hello, everyone. Welcome to the newest edition of YouTube Take. I'm your illustrious host, Nightmare10, and my two friends here.
We restarted this.
Yes.
Let y'all know.
Maybe.
Nightmare10.
Nightmare10 and...
Nightmareballa1.
Great. Let's get right to it in the great world of the NFL and the NCAA. Sorry, everybody, that we didn't do an NFL preview. I had a really, really rough week. A really, really rough, just a lot of unfortunate stuff happened at school. But I'm ready. I'm back. Phil was busy too, but we're here, ready to go. The college football preview video actually was very, very well received, and we're very happy to hear that. So we'll start it off first by just taking a few quick notes on the NFL season in general. I know the first week has already happened, and we'll talk about it. But we're not going to go team by team, but just I'm going to ask you guys each for your 6 playoff teams. And yes, your vision may be clouded after already seeing week 1. Whatever. Your 6 playoff teams, Super Bowl game and winner. I think that will effectively cover our preview. So, Phil, since it was supposed to be me and you, who wins the 4 divisions in the AFC?
All right. Obviously, we'll go with Denver's going to win their division. I don't think there's anything.
Skip Bayless said the Chargers going to win.
Well, he's smoking crack. But yeah, Denver's going to win that division. I think that Indy, even though already lost week 1, but not before that, I'd still would have stuck to it. Indy's going to win their division. I think the AFC North could be a very interesting one. I'm going to say the Bengals pull it off, though. I'm going to say the Bengals hold on and win that division. And then, of course, the Pats, week 1 doesn't matter. We're going to win the division.
Wildcard teams.
This is interesting because this change to me. This especially in the AFC could change from week to week. Honestly, I just right now, if you got to handcuff me right now, I'm saying the wildcard teams, and I'm going to sound like an idiot later because these teams fall apart. But whatever, I'm going to go with the Chiefs making the wild card, and I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins making a wild card. I like their schedule. So,
Marquine? Oh, no, Phil. NFC side.
NFC. Seattle. I got Seattle winning the NFC West over San Fran.
I'm so surprised.
I don't think that's a surprise. I mean, some people are picking San Fran. So, anyways,
people are idiots. That's what we call those people.
I'll go over to the NFC East where I have the Eagles win that division. I don't like any other team in that division at all. So Eagles win that division for me. NFC North. Man, that Packers defense is awful. I really, and this is biased because of week 1, but man, Stafford balled out week 1.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go on a limb and say the Lions pull this off and win the division. It's probably not gonna happen, but I'm gonna go out on a limb. You got to go out on a limb somewhere. So I'm gonna go Lions, and then the hardest division for me, I would say, is the NFC South. But I still think the Saints pull it off. I think the Saints win that division. And your wild cards are San Fran and Carolina. That's your 2 wild cards. San Fran and Carolina.
Okay.
So Green Bay doesn't make the playoffs.
Wow.
Sorry, Marquine, but
Marquine?
I trust
I don't know if I
ones.
can go that far. All right, let's see the AFC. Obviously Denver. Obviously New England. The South would be difficult if Houston had a quarterback. Like Ryan Fitzpatrick is Ryan Fitzpatrick, so I'm gonna go with Indy. The North is a little weird, but you know what? The Cleveland Browns. No, I'm kidding.
Cleveland Browns, Johnny Manziel.
Honestly, I think they'll get better as the season goes along. Some say the Baltimore Ravens. Wild card teams, obviously the Bengals, I think, and I ain't saying the Dolphins, kids. You just know that. And I'm gonna go with the Chargers. And on the NFC side, obviously the Saints, obviously the Seahawks. I think, obviously the Eagles.
Did you say the Chiefs and the Chiefs and the Chargers as your wild card?
No. I said the Bengals and the Chargers.
Bengals and the Chargers. Okay.
No, siree.
You don't got the Chiefs in there. Okay.
No. Their schedule is freaking hard, and Alex Smith against Alex Smith. So.
They just lost at Tennessee, but I didn't.
And that game was supposed to be one of the easier ones on their schedule.
Yeah.
If you see the rest of their schedule, like
But
this week,
I kind of based it off of before that game. So
like this week they're at Denver. Next week they're at Miami. The week after that they're at home to the Patriots.
like their schedule, show their schedule.
They've got some rough matchups.
They'll be like 8-8. I still think that's a good team, but I don't see them in the playoffs.
They did lose to Derrick Johnson.
Yeah, but the NFC, like I said, Saints obviously, Eagles obviously, Seahawks obviously. All right, the North, you know what? He's right. Green Bay has a terrible defense. The Lions played the Giants, so I kind of disqualify that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like Calvin Johnson to me can beat anybody in the league by himself. Like I'm being straight up, man. Like I ain't never seen nobody quite like him since like Randy Moss. To be honest, like he just literally makes the whole game different. Like he's on another level. Like people always argue about who's the best wide receiver. Well, there's a clear number one. Everything else you feel in.
I was about to say there should be even a debate for number one.
He's on a totally different level than everybody else.
Marquis, would you say? I heard real quick. Would you say that he's the best player in the NFL? I saw that somewhere.
Man,
that kind of bothered me.
Look, man, Peyton Manning, him, Adrian Peterson, one of those three, in my opinion. Like, take your pick. And you know, Aaron Rodgers too. But like, you know,
and Brady.
Lol.
But the North. I mean, I'm gonna go with the Packers just because they seem to always somehow win that division. So
they're the safer pick for sure.
All right, let's see. Wild card. It's gonna shock y'all, but I don't have San Fran actually making the playoffs.
Holy.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised. I've seen that around.
All right,
they have injuries. That's true.
Let's see. I got the Lions, and who's the other? I had it and I lost it.
Bears.
Nope.
The Cardinals.
Yeah, there you go. Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
Yep.
Phil, they're a very, very, very popular pick.
I'm not saying the Cardinals as if they're a bad team. I'm just that's a tough team. There's some tough teams you got out to play. That's fine. I got this. I respect.
I mean, you got the Panthers with no wide receiver.
They don't.
You got the Niners.
Beastin', son.
The Niners are in disarray right now, so I can't really just say. Like think about it. Their offense only scored 14 points against the Dallas Cowboys defense. Think about that. The Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I understand the same. I just, yeah.
Like Colin Kaepernick's my boy, but he got to learn how to actually be accurate. I'm sorry.
So Phil Markeem has Eagles, Seahawks, Packers, Saints, Lions, Cardinals, Patriots, Broncos, Ravens, Colts, Bengals, Chargers. Phil has Patriots, Broncos, Bengals, Colts, Chiefs, and Dolphins, if I heard you correctly.
That's right, yeah.
And in the NFC, it's Eagles, Seahawks, Lions, Saints, San Fran, Carolina, I think is what you had?
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Yeah, San Fran and Carolina was a wild card, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of chatter about the Niners. There's a lot of chatter that Jim Harbaugh might be on his last days.
That's ridiculous to me. But
yeah, dang, really? I haven't heard any of that.
Phil, you haven't heard that? Like I've seen that all off season. Like
It's rumors of them getting rid of him. It's rumors of them going back to college. There's all sorts of shit going around.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with his production because obviously his past 3 years have been arguably one of the best 3-year periods in NFL history. But they say it's more because he doesn't get along. He just apparently doesn't get along with anybody in the front office. Like him and the general manager get into a lot of fights, and the locker room. I don't think views him the same way they once did. I don't know. That's what I've heard.
Makes sense.
Okay, me. AFC West. I think Broncos. I think that's the most sure one. I know people like the Chargers a lot, but I just can't trust them to win this division. They have so many bad losses. Every year, even last year, everyone put them over as being this underdog team that came up and rose through the AFC and reinvented themselves. They had a lot of bad losses last year. Just a lot of losses of just dumb mistakes. And it's not because of coaching. They have a great coach. It's just, I don't know. It's like the Norv Turner syndrome. It just kind of carries over. So the Broncos, to me, are the most surefire thing. I think the Seahawks aren't as much of a surefire thing because they have a tougher division. But Broncos for sure. The North, I'll say the Steelers, believe it or not. I just think they're going to be a lot better this year. And the South, I'll say the Colts as well, begrudgingly. I actually would. Part of me wants to say the Texans or the Jaguars, but Andrew Luck's just Andrew Luck, man. Like, fuck, every game, like even this past week, he's down by like 3 touchdowns, and he just finds a way to make it close.
That second half, he's like a totally different guy, didn't he? Looked like the guy I said he'll be at the end of the season.
He just has some magic about him. Like it's really weird to see.
It reminds me of some guy that wore number 7 that was built similar to him.
Anyways,
just start drooling, Mr. Elway over here.
Anyways, and I don't have the Patriots in the playoffs. The collapse.
Are you serious?
He would do that.
I have them as a wild card.
Wow, really?
Yes. And
who the hell you got winning that division?
Of course, his boys.
Well,
of course he's got his boys.
Yeah,
One week.
I got no. But I have a lot of reasons for that. I think this is the last year of the Patriots as contenders. I'm not the only one that said that. A lot of people have said that. Even our friend PWTR Charlie, actually, his bold prediction was he thinks this is going to be Tom Brady's last year as the Patriots quarterback. So it's clear. It's just very clear if you just watch how they drafted and their free agency.
Yeah, Garoppolo, and I give you that.
And like trading away Mankins, like they're in this weird period of like.
It's looking like they're about to go in a different direction.
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
It's this weird thing of like we're
ready for that, Phil.
Y'all need to shut up right now.
But Phil, like it's like they're just in this weird phase of like they're trying to be competitive, but at the same time they're preparing for the future. Like they're like rebuilding at the same time. Like look, Phil. Honestly, part of it is genius because like they're trying to find a way to already have the pieces in play while not cannibalizing the team. But I mean, come on, man. Like what?
I think that's why they added Revis and shit like that to give Tom Brady one last bullet in his gun.
Yes,
that's why I think it is.
And it's just like Phil, like drafting a quarterback in the second round. Like that's not depth.
That Brady recommended.
that's preparing for the future, and I just think look. The last year that the Patriots are there's a famous quote that Bill Simmons said about the Miami Heat. Like when someone predicted, you
said famous quote in Bill Simmons?
Fine, whatever. At the end of the day, he got this quote from a TV show, and it always rang true with me. Things always end poorly. Because if they don't end poorly, they don't end. And the year that the Patriots stop being contenders, it's not like they like make it to the Super Bowl and then Tom Brady just retires and they go like 5-11 next year. No, it requires like some breakdown. And I think that this season...
Hey, that ain't always true.
But I know, that's true. I'm just saying. They are... I know Elway had it differently.
Yeah, you know that's where I was going.
I'm just saying that I think the Patriots are going to get prepared for like a 9-10 win season, probably a 10-win season, and the Dolphins probably also just win 10 games, and the Dolphins just edge them out. I think they'll make the wild card and like either lose in the first round or get to the divisional game and lose then, and that will just kind of be the end of it. As far as the Dolphins, they fixed their main weaknesses from last year. The offensive line looks much improved. The running game looks much improved.
After one game.
Against the Pats D-line.
The D-line looks forceful in the preseason. Yes, I know it's preseason, but in the preseason, when we played the Cowboys and when the starters were in the game for an entire first half, the Dolphins' defensive line wrecked the Cowboys' offensive line. The Cowboys' offensive line is one of the best in the NFL.
I've heard that like 2 months from Skip Bayless, so yes, they are.
Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, like they have a lot of talent on that line. And the Dolphins...
Y'all know that jackass picks the Cowboys to win the division? Y'all know that?
I'm not surprised.
Jesus, man.
But my point is that the Dolphins D-line wrecked them in that game. And that's one of the best lines in the NFL, and we wrecked them. That's why I knew we would kill the Patriots, because their line is a lot worse. And I knew it would just present itself a lot of problems. Cam Wake might win Defensive Player of the Year this year. It really seems like he's on that mode. He's one of the front runners right now, probably behind J.J. Watt. So, yeah, I'm going bold. I know it'll be January. I'll be crying and sobbing about how much of a miserable fan I am that we only went 8-8 and missed the playoffs.
And you'll be crying in February too when we hoist that Lombardi.
Yeah, totally, bro. You totally believe that. Listen, but this pick is honestly more about the Patriots than it is the Dolphins. I just think the Patriots are regressing this year. I've been calling for the Tom Brady decline forever, so I'm going to stick with it. So, sorry, Phil. But Dolphins, Broncos, Steelers, Colts, with my wild cards being the Patriots and Chargers. I thought strongly about putting the Jaguars in here, but because I do think they're going to win like 8 games, but didn't have the gut for that. As far as the NFC, I actually like the Cowboys more than the Redskins and the Giants, but I'm going to still put the Eagles in front. NFC West, Seahawks. NFC North, I want to say the Packers. I'll stick with the Packers just because I think Aaron Rodgers is too talented not to win the division. NFC South, I think Saints is a perfectly reasonable pick, although don't be surprised if the Falcons make a play for that. Wild card, I have the Cardinals and the Vikings as my wild card teams.
The damn Vikings.
The Vikings.
This was a playoff team 2 years ago, and they have one of the best coaches in the NFL, and they have Norv Turner as their offensive coordinator. Now, what that's going to result is that Norv Turner, what were the 2 stars he made last year on the Cleveland Browns? Jordan Cameron and Josh Gordon. This year, he has Kyle Rudolph, a guy that I've been a huge fan of for years. I draft him every year in fantasy. I have him in all 4 of my fantasy leagues this year. I've always really liked him. He's going to, I think, have a good year. And they have Cordarrelle Patterson, who I think is going to be a monster this year and be like a top 10 receiver by the end of the season. So I think the combination of a good offensive nucleus with a great head coach is just going to win a lot of games. I think people oversimplify teams that win. Teams with good head coaches win. That's why I don't want to put the Lions here, because I don't trust Jim Caldwell. And as talented as that offense is, I'm hesitant to trust him to not make dumb coaching decisions down the stretch like Jim Schwartz did. But who knows? So those are my predictions. Super Bowl, Markeem, the game.
All right. As of right now, I know this is impossible. It usually doesn't happen. But Seahawks, Broncos.
Yep.
Usually doesn't happen. Just because, man, the Broncos, man, when they own it, like, no one can stop them. Just literally no one. Like, that first half, they were tearing apart the Colts. And to Chuck Pagano's credit, he made an adjustment at half, and Peyton Manning wasn't Peyton Manning, and, you know, it is what it is. Like, who knows? Like, dog, I feel like the top 3 teams in the AFC, the Colts, the Patriots, in my opinion, sorry, kid, and and the Broncos, like either of the 3 can make it all the way. So you know I'm rooting for her, but I just think the Broncos are going to be that team, and I think the Seahawks will also be there just because they're clearly the best team in the NFC. Like Russell Wilson is going to get better as the season goes along. That offense looked completely better anyway. They lost Golden Tate, I know, but like I think they'll still be fine. Marshawn, that just tells me Marshawn Lynch will get more carries, and he's one of the most underrated players in the league. And I think the Seahawks win. I think as much as hard as that is to believe, I think they repeat. They're the first repeat champion in like a decade. So yeah, I think they repeat.
Since the Patriots.
Yeah, since the Patriots. So I think they repeat.
Phil?
God, this is so hard for me. The hardest thing is, I don't know if you guys know if you remember this on Thursday night, but they showed it up. I saved it on my phone, actually. Took a picture of it because I wanted to talk about it on the show. But the last 9 Super Bowl champions
have not won a playoff game the next year.
No, I think the Patriots did, because it says Patriots lost second game, so I assume they won the first one. But then it said Steelers, they missed the playoffs. Colts lost the first game. Giants lost the first game. Steelers missed the playoffs. Saints lost the first game. Packers lost the first game. Giants missed the playoffs, and then the Ravens missed the playoffs. And then
the Patriots, if I remember correctly, the Patriots made it to the division. They had a bye, but they lost in the second round.
That might be right. I'm just going by what. Yeah, that's probably right.
They didn't play in the first game. Yeah. But
right, that's probably right. But anyways, it's just hard. Seattle, I think, is the one team that could easily break that mold, like Markeem's saying. I just don't think no one. I mean, the last 9 champions haven't been able to do it. What makes Seattle to all of a sudden be able to do it? So I just don't think Seattle's going to go. So therefore, I have to put my chips in someone else's hat. I think Seattle gets to the NFC Championship game. I just think something happens. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, so I guess if they won a game, it'd probably break the streak.
I hope you don't have them at home, like in that because they're at home in that game. Cut close. They gonna win.
I know this stuff is so hard. Oh, you know what, man? I'm switching back and forth every second, like literally. Anyways, let me come back to NFC. AFC. I just don't. The biggest thing, and I'm going to sound like the biggest homer, but because I mean, after week 1, I mean, say what you want to say, but I ain't worried about it. 1 week. It's 1 week. But I think the Patriots go, and the reason why I say this, I just don't think Denver goes back. I just don't see Denver going back after losing. I think that's another stat too. I think the losing team has never returned back ever in like the last. I don't know.
It's been a long.
But it's been a long time.
It's been like since the Dolphins.
And I do think it's going to come down to who can get that number 1 seed. And is that game going to be in New England? Is the game in Denver? I do like Indy's chances. Indy could upset one of the two, New England or Denver, if they get better and better this year. But I'm just going to go with New England as a homeboy for so I don't care. But I'm going to go with New England. I'm going to go with them in the Super Bowl. Gosh, it's freaking NFC. I don't want to pick Seattle. Seattle's such the easy pick. I'm going to go out on a limb. This is going to be...
Come on, Phil. Put the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Don't you jinx my team. Don't you put the Eagles in there. Don't do that.
I'm putting the Eagles in there. I don't know why. I do this every year, and it seems like I always pick a team, and I'm totally wrong. I'm putting the Panthers in the Super Bowl.
Okay, all right. Just don't do that to my Eagles. Let
me put it this. Now I know the receiving core is a lot worse this year, so who knows what's going to happen there. But I loved Carolina last year, but I thought, and I said this to everybody, I thought Carolina was a team that needed to come off that wild card. And I think if they're the wild card this year, they can make a run. And guess what?
At the end of the season, they had a rhythm, and then I think that bye week kind of fucked them up. I agree.
Exactly. And I think if they can do this again, they're gonna pull it off. I just don't think Seattle's gonna be a bye week. I just don't think they're gonna pull it off again. I could be wrong, and if any team could do it, it'd be Seattle. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and pick a team. I like the Panthers. LB will love me for this, but
gee, Phil, I wonder who your Super Bowl winner is.
And I got the Panthers, and I've got the Patriots winning the Super Bowl.
All right.
Just because it's halfway, I picked the Denver last year. Okay, so
that's true. That's true.
Preseason is just easy. If I got to pick a team, it's easy for me to pick my team.
People don't remember this, but the Seahawks coming off that bye did not look very good against the Saints in the playoffs last year. And
that's boring as crap. Like they couldn't get.
That game was awful.
Seattle couldn't put it away, and that's what I'm saying. Let them face the team that's not New Orleans that was last year. Let them face a team that is there and is hot and is ready. It's going to be different.
I will say this. I think people are kind of overreacting over that Packers game because can I talk about that real quick, just real fast?
Go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers pissed me off. Like, you are, in my opinion, and in a lot of other people's opinion, the best quarterback in the damn NFL. You are, and you didn't attack Richard Sherman one time, bruh. Not one time.
Yeah.
Like, he's amazing. He's everything people say. But you've got to throw at him, dude. You just got to. Skip Bayless, who I hate this man, but he made an amazing point. He was like, you take somebody like Troy Aikman, who no one would even argue is the best of the 90s or in his era at all. No one would say it. Ain't nobody that crazy. But he, playing against Deion Sanders, who was clearly the best corner ever. Definitely that generation. I mean, he knew that to win that game, they had to challenge Deion. It's just at a point you have to challenge the guy. And Aaron Rodgers, you the best. You one of the best pure passes we ever seen. Throw at him. Go at him. Catch him napping. Try a shot deep. He didn't even do that. Didn't even look in his direction. That's some bitch shit. I don't think I can ever look at Aaron. I'm going to be real with you. I don't think I can ever look at him the same after that shit. That was ridiculous. Like, I was getting sick looking at the shit. Like, I was killed. Do something. Do something different.
That could have been a coaching call, though.
I don't give I don't give a fuck. You're Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I don't give. John Fox says, "Hey Peyton, don't throw to Richard Sherman." You think that shit's gonna happen?
John Fox don't coach that team.
But I'm saying, but if he says that to Peyton, you think that if Bill Belichick tells Tom Brady, don't go with him.
But he might actually listen.
I'm saying don't go. If fucking Sean Payton told Drew Brees, don't go with him. He's too good. You think that shit's gonna happen? Fuck out of here, man. You Aaron Rodgers. You Aaron Rodgers. You supposed to be as good as we say. Prove it, motherfucker. Go at the best.
That's an interesting critique.
Getting
back to the predictions. Homer Phil has the Patriots winning, but I'm going to go with my education here. I'm very glad that Phil brought up that.
I'm going to go with my education.
I'm very happy that Phil brought up that statistic because I think it's very true of no Super Bowl champions winning a playoff game the next year. Something happens, and like everyone acts like this is all new. When the Packers won the Super Bowl, everybody said they're healthy now. They have more talent. This is going to be the team that repeats. This is going to be the team that actually does it. And those motherfuckers went 15-1. But you know what? It didn't happen.
They overachieved.
But everyone was praising them, being like, "This is going to be the team that's going to repeat the
Patriots." Didn't they drop a goose egg too?
Yeah.
No, they didn't get shut out.
No, that's not what I meant. But like they just played horrible.
Oh
the bye fucked up their rhythm too.
Yeah.
So I think the Seahawks, they're the sexy pick. They're probably going to win 14, maybe even 15 games this year. But I personally just think I agree with Phil. I just think something's going to happen. I don't know what, and look, if there's any team that can overcome this, it's a team that's young because that's why the Patriots were able to do it with generally just a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. Like the Seahawks, they have a very young team. They're the youngest Super Bowl winning team of all time. So if there's
also the greatest defense of all time. Yeah, I went there. I did that.
85 Bears, 2,000 Ravens.
Better. Look at the offense in the NFL right now. Look how many points teams are putting up, and they still put up the numbers they put up last year. It's kind of remarkable.
That's a hard point to argue, Markeem. I'll give you that.
Anyways, something's going to happen. Like, yes, they're a very talented team. They have a lot of young talent, which lends itself to repeating championships. But I just think something's going to happen. And I just wouldn't be surprised if like they make a mistake or they fall to someone, like in the divisional round or in the conference championship. So what I have is I have the Broncos making the Super Bowl again, mainly because I have no confidence in any other team to do it. Like I look across the AFC and I just don't see any team, like literally not one team that I think could be at all competitive. For the Colts, I don't trust that defense or that offensive line. Chuck Pagano, I think he's an okay coach, maybe even a good coach, but he has a lot of bad losses to good teams. Like really, he has so many losses where he just gets blown out. Like, and really good coaches like don't do that. The Chiefs just lost a lot of just are not the same team talent wise. Don't trust them at all. Don't trust the Bengals. I just kind of see the Broncos kind of cruising. In the NFC, I have the Saints making it back to the Super Bowl. I think Sean Payton is a genius, and I think the defense is much improved, and I think they're going to win enough games this year to get a home field advantage, which they didn't have last year, which is why people didn't take them seriously as a playoff contender. But if they have home field advantage going into the playoffs, they are very, very dangerous because it's incredibly hard to beat them in the Superdome. So I have the Saints and the Broncos, and I have the Broncos winning this year. I know I'm a Peyton homer, but with Broncos, a PFF writer said this over the summer when they'd ranked the top 100 players in the NFL, and Aaron Rodgers was ranked 11. And everybody got all mad and said Aaron Rodgers is clearly the best quarterback in the NFL. And this writer wrote this long article saying, I find it funny how Peyton Manning can have the season he just had, and everybody say it's so unanimous that Aaron Rodgers is better. And he just went on to say, yes, Aaron Rodgers is great, and I get the argument. But I really think that Peyton Manning has become the Michael Jordan of his era, where people are bored by his success. Like, people are just kind of like, oh yeah, Peyton's going to do his shit type of reaction. And I noticed that, like, and he was saying how Michael Jordan got robbed out of the 1997 MVP award, and, like, people just got bored because, like, he's that great that you just don't acknowledge greatness when you acknowledge it for so long. And I noticed it this week when the podcast I listened to was reviewing the Broncos-Colts game, when they're like, is it me or is it boring to watch the Broncos in the first half just do what they do? Like, I just get that sense that that's how these people view this team. And I just can totally see them just walking in, coming out of nowhere, winning this. I mean, not out of nowhere, but winning the Super Bowl, and people just being like, "Wow, that was kind of nondescript." Because I don't know, I just think they're at that level right now. The defense is a lot better than they were last year. A lot better. A much more talented defense. They had a lot of players that weren't healthy going into the playoffs that are now healthy. I think I think that this team is going to be a very, very strong team. And
so you're saying they're going to do exactly what the 72 Dolphins did? That's the last team to do this, kid.
What? Go 17-0?
No, lose the Super Bowl.
And then come back the next year.
Yeah.
Come back the next year and win.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, records, and this applies the same to the Seahawks argument. Streaks, whether it's been 40 years since a team lost a Super Bowl and they won it the next year, or in the past 10 years a team hasn't won a playoff game after they won a Super Bowl. Streaks are notified by when they end. So I think someone's eventually going to, like in the history of the future, someone's going to lose a Super Bowl and win it the next year at some point. So why can't it be now?
Oh, and this is just because of what was bugging me. The Patriots won their first playoff game after they won two Super Bowls in a row. They beat the Jags and then lost in Denver. So they're the last ones. So when it said like lost second game, they won their first game.
The Jags, the Jags made the playoffs?
Yeah, I remember this. I actually remember that. Yeah,
that's the most shocking thing. No, I'm kidding.
That's true.
Okay.
All right, those are our Super Bowl picks. Now, very quickly, let's talk about last week's games before we get into this week's games and the Ray Rice stuff. Last week, notable games in football. Dolphins killed the Patriots. I called it on Twitter.
Killed.
We beat them up.
I wouldn't say you. By the way, I'm going to call you out on the show. I wouldn't say you called it on Twitter. You're like, I have a weird
my
feeling.
God, fuck you, Phil.
I'm just saying, if I said I have a weird feeling the Patriots are going to win by 3 and they win by 3, that's like that doesn't
Phil,
called.
Shut up. This isn't the
I'm
Patriots.
just saying. I'm calling you out.
Kid, he's 100% correct.
Exactly.
No. Like,
If
no.
you said on Twitter, I predict that the Patriots are going to get smashed. Totally can't argue with that. But you said I have a weird feeling.
This
okay.
This is Phil having a defense mechanism because I just beat his
not.
team up.
No. He's right. He's right, kid.
Okay. One of the previous times where I said this, it's when I said I have a weird feeling that Dan Henderson's gonna get a knockout right now, and we're all gonna go nuts. When he was getting his ass kicked by Shogun for 3 rounds.
Yeah, but that didn't mean you predicted. You just had a weird feeling. What are you? You the Oracle now? What the fuck is happening?
Last September, I said I have a weird feeling that the Broncos are going to murder the Ravens in this opening night game.
Are you supposed to be Ricky Cleo now? Like what the fuck?
I'm sure you also had weird feelings that didn't come true. So
exactly. I have weird feelings all day. I got one right now. I think I just need to fart. Let's move on.
By that logic, predictions can always just not come true. Shut up, Phil. I said that the O-line matchup was going to kill.
Whatever.
What I said was that the D-line would overpower the O-line, and that happened. So blow it up your ass.
Okay, you predicted that.
Okay.
But I won't say you
Shut up. If we did this show, I would have said Dolphins by 10.
Okay, well,
blow
fine.
It.
We didn't. We
blow
didn't.
It.
Shut up.
Blow it. No. You guys are mad. I'm smart. Too bad. So... But, I don't think there's much to talk about in the NFL. It's week 1. I just don't want to risk overreactions. I think there's far more to talk about in college football.
Well, I do want to talk about the...
Wait. Let me add one thing about this game. One thing I want to say is me and Big Rat actually know this, but if you actually are shocked by that loss, like, yeah, I know the Patriots are glorified, whatever, but, like, the stat that didn't shock me at all, which I think has shocked a lot of people, is like Brady's 6-7 at home against Miami. It's like that doesn't shock me because I know every time we play at Miami is usually when we lose to Miami. So if you're a Miami fan and you're a New England fan, you would know that. But everybody else is like, oh my gosh, New England lost to Miami. It's nothing new. Anyway,
there you go, Phil. I'm happy to hear you admit this. I'm reveling in this right now. This is
what did I say? I've said this on the show before. We're never going to sweep I think. Not last year, but the year before we swept them, and I thought I couldn't believe that. Like we very rarely sweep Miami.
And two things I wanted to talk about before we move on. The Eagles, man, like that whole turning the ball over, coughing it up 80 million times. Like that has to stop. Like now, that can't happen because I need them to clean that up so we can take care of business because we're clearly the best team in that division. Well, three things actually, real quick. The Niners' offense looks awful. Like to only score 14 points against the Dallas Cowboys, bro. That's pretty terrible. That's like, come on. Like, this is a defense that people were thinking was going to be the worst ever. You know what I mean? Nobody from that team is healthy or back, and they were pretty awful last year. So, I'm just saying, like, they're pretty bad. And Andrew Luck, in that second half, turned into something special. He just couldn't get it done at the end. My one critique of him that I think he'll fix as the year goes along is that Reggie Wayne is his guy, so he's always looking at Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne gets thrown to so much, even when the play is not there. And that last play of the game, when he forced the ball to Reggie Wayne, T.Y. Hilton was open, Kobe Fleener was open. And I was like, you're my boy. Why are you doing that?
He's a mediocre quarterback.
By the way, week one was just another proof of, my Reggie Wayne.
Yo, Phil.
Where was Victor Cruz? Where was Victor Cruz?
Hey, look who's throwing him the ball right now, though, to be fair.
Yeah, I will give you that. I will give you that.
Eli Manning is at the end of the rope. Like,
honestly, I don't think Victor Cruz is like, this ball's not getting anywhere near me. I'm not even going to try.
Why should he risk hurting himself for this?
Like that one interception, the ball's like, oh, the defenders beat me. Oh, I don't care. The Giants.
I'm going to say that, what was I going to say? The Eagles game was definitely interesting, but I mean, no other result. Like I said, it's week one. Like, yes, the Bills beat the Bears on the road, but like, are we all going to act like the Bills are all of a sudden a better team than the Bears? Like,
I don't know. Are we all of a sudden going to act like the Bears are a good team, like all these motherfuckers are doing? They don't play no defense either.
Yes, but they have Mark Trestman. And they have
Jay Cutler's gonna put up a bunch of numbers and go like 8-8 like the Cowboys do. Just like Stephen A. Smith said, they're the Cowboys Midwest.
And the Bills do this all the time. They start like 3-4-0 and nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And then nothing comes with it. So
the Bills have literally. I've said this to the guy while we were watching the game Sunday. Like the Bills have to go like 6 or 7-0 for anyone to ever think they're legit. Like. It's not, it's just how it's going to go. Sorry for anybody that's a Bills fan.
So now we move to the college football world. Markeem, I know there was a few stuff you wanted to talk about. You could talk about your team. You could talk about USC. You could talk about Michigan State. Floor is yours.
Okay, mainly those are the three things. First, I want to talk about Everett Golson, though, man. Like that
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Like that guy, man. Like the comeback I think he's gonna make this year will be like nothing we've ever seen before. I think the stage is set for him to put up huge numbers. Like if you look at his schedule this year, like Michigan was one of the tougher games they play all year. Like in terms of like defensively, like defenses they face, and he torched them, man. Like that dude is on a comeback trail, and I think that he will probably be in New York, especially with Bryce Petty being banged up, who's my Heisman Trophy prediction, whatever. But I'm gonna talk about us last. But Michigan State and Oregon was highly entertaining.
Wait, hey Markeem, I cut you off again. I'm sorry. Do you think that with what happened with Golston, would that hold him back in a Heisman vote?
No. Okay. It's been a year. It shouldn't. Okay. If it does, that's fucked up. But
okay, just curious. Sorry to interrupt.
Like it's been a whole season. Like if it, whatever, they better not. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But let's see. Michigan State and Oregon was highly entertaining. It's just those breakdowns at the end. It's like they couldn't stop the bleeding. And once Oregon gets going in that stadium, it's not too many teams that can even fuck with them. Like once the mistakes started happening, I knew it was over. Like when they took the lead, I was like, that's it. That's it. But it was a great game up until that point. I still think Michigan State can play with anyone in the country. It's just they're in the worst division in maybe football. But I'll get them in with confidence. I'll get to that in a second. Stanford, USC. It was really nice to see USC play defense. I mean, we hadn't seen that in a couple years now. Sarkisian had those boys disciplined. There weren't a lot of mistakes. It was just nice to see them. It was nice to see them on a national stage actually do something positive. That was very cool. I was very happy to see that. Stanford, they're evenly matched teams. I just think that USC. I was gonna pick USC anyway in case we didn't do the show, but I was going to. They just a little bit better offensively. I think that by the end of the season, Kevin Hogan and those boys will be where they need to be. They just ain't there yet. And Ty Montgomery will be a first-round draft pick. Y'all heard me say it here first. Billy Sims don't need to start in Alabama. All right, now let me get to my team.
One thing I'll say about Stanford, I think they kind of got a little outcoached in that game too. Like I just think he made some questionable decisions in that game. What's the guy's name?
Shaw. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Shaw. So I think I agree with you too. Though I think they'll get it together. But
I did watch that. He was too conservative at the end.
Yeah, that's what was baffling to me. I didn't get that.
It's time to start gunning it. Like it's at the end of the game. Let's go. Like this is your dude. He's been starting for 3 years. Like let him throw it. Let him fling it. Ty Montgomery and those other two boys. I can't remember their name, but they might have the best receiving core in the country. Like let them use it. Whatever. Yeah, Billy Sims shouldn't be starting in Alabama. Now, Virginia Tech, like Coker should be starting, but Ohio State is overrated. And I hate to say that because we just beat them, but that offensive line cannot protect anyone. Like that boy sucks. That quarterback, I forget his name, but he sucks.
Maxwell, is it Maxwell?
No,
not Maxwell.
What's his name?
Mitchell. Something with an M.
You might be right, but he's terrible. But to be fair, he didn't get a lot of time to throw because they didn't protect him. Now, granted, we have one of the best front sevens in college football, but they ain't that good, man. Like there was a sequence in the fourth quarter where they had the ball and he got sacked 3 times. Like we ain't that. Like, that front seven ain't that good. Kendall Fuller is an amazing cover corner. Like he was on them dudes like flies to shit. It was amazing.
I was way off. It was JT Barrett.
He was on point completely. Bud Foster is he's my favorite dude in the world right now because he could be a head coach in all college football. He could be a defensive coordinator in the NFL if he wanted to. It's just he loves that university. He loves Frank Beamer, and it's just great to see. You know what I'm saying? Like I was on cloud 9 that whole game because as soon as we went up by 14, I was like, it's over. They're done. There's no way in hell they'll be able to, you know what I'm saying, to close this gap against this defense. We came out here with a win. I was going to pick us anyway. Like on Twitter, if y'all don't know, like throughout the week I was tweeting, we will beat Ohio State. And if y'all didn't notice, but
I didn't see that.
And, you know, I don't drink. I got towed the fuck up. The chick I was with, she was a big Ohio State fan, which made it all the more better. You know, so that was a whole lot of fun. Like I was in tears, bro, because it's so amazing knowing that we can win now that we don't have a dude like Logan Thomas throwing the football. It feels like positive things can happen. Matthew Brewer, like it's kind of crazy he didn't start at Texas Tech. You know what I mean? Because you saw how well he played. It feels like he does more positives than negatives, and I don't get them freaked out when he's fucking throwing the ball. When the ball's in the air, I'm a little more confident. So I was happy to see that. I'm just glad we got out of there with a win. I am happy.
All right. Markeem's happy. Fuck.
Because if Logan was there, somehow he would have threw away that game.
Right.
He would have discovered a way to lose it.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Can I talk about A&M Carolina real quick?
Oh, yeah. We were.
Shut up, Markeem. Well, really, I mean, at this point, there's not much to talk about, but there's 2 things I want to say. One, all of our dead grandparents could play better defense than Carolina played in that game. Awful defense. And I have a question. I'm not going to say the statement. I'm going to ask it in a question instead. But Markeem, do you think it was more? Obviously, I think it was. But do you think Texas A&M is going to get a little overrated now because of that? Like, to me, I feel like a lot of people started praising our offense and didn't realize that our defense was literally atrocious. Like, let me see Texas A&M against a solid defense. Like,
what's his name? Speedy Noel.
Hill. You talking about Hill?
No, well that's the quarterback. What's his name? Speedy Noel, something like that. He was one of the top recruits. You know, period. Like him and Leonard and Leonard Fournette. So I knew they were going to be able to score points. I figured that game would be a shootout. I just thought y'all would score more. and to their credit, they played a little bit better defense. I still think A&M will be exposed defensively. I just do. And South Carolina's defense was suspect. I said that in the preview show. You cannot lose your Davian Clowney and Kelsey Quarles and then just think everything's going to be okay. It doesn't work like that. Like, Davian Clowney is one of the best pass rushers we've ever seen, and just to lose him and just think that you're not going to be able to skip a beat, that's just ridiculous.
And as the Carolina, I mean, me and you talked about this, and I think you guys talked about it in the show a little bit, the preview. But it's like, now granted, it's hard to say this, but, it's like, number 9, I was like, I'm not going to complain about it, but that's some high expectations for that team, for a team that, like you said, has to, Kelsey Quarles, Clowney,
Connor Shaw, forgot
Victor Hampton, cornerback, is not there.
Oh yeah.
Some other players as well that not off the top of my head, but Connor Shaw, like the dude was, led the offense. I mean, so it's just Bruce Ellington. So I mean, there's a lot of players that we lost. I just knew number 9 was I did not like. I think honestly that was totally SEC biased. I'll admit that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because a lot of people think they're gonna win the East. I don't understand how, but that's a lot of people.
And see, and my thing, I think Big Rat was saying it. I didn't hear title contender this year. I heard it last year. So I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't in the talks. All top SEC teams get talked in with that, but anything title, I was like, no. Like when I heard Big Rat say that on the show, not saying that wasn't merited, but I was just like, whoa. Maybe last year, this year, that I hope that was never in anybody's mouth. But yeah, it's just got a lot of work to do, man. Going into this season, because I didn't get a preview, I just wanted to talk a little bit about it. Going into this season, I honestly thought if we could just lose 3, if 3 games is all we lost, I'd be happy. So we'll see what happens. But as we go on to whatever.
Also, my Miami Hurricanes got killed by Louisville. We had a nice comeback against Florida A&M this weekend, but I mean, yes. We faced Florida A&M. I know. But we did very well against Florida A&M.
I'm sorry.
I will say this. Brad Kaya, 18 years old, first ever game as a quarterback ever in college football. No redshirt year. And he also, I don't know if you guys even know this, he did not even enroll during spring training. So he had very, very little time with that school when he played in that game. He still won the starting job, and I thought he looked decent for someone.
Won the starting job, kid? Really?
Hey,
the starting quarterback from Kansas was going to beat him out? Really?
Let it go, goddammit. My point still rings true. He
didn't win the starting job. They had no choice.
Fuck you. God damn it.
Aren't they trying to win? Isn't Al Golden's job on the line?
He did well for someone in his first ever game.
Oh, yeah, I will agree with that. But don't say he won the job.
Oh my God. Fuck. Fine. Who cares? Fine. His first ever game as a freshman. I thought he was okay. Yeah, not much you can expect from an 18-year-old. But in Florida A&M, yeah, Florida A&M was. I mean, it's exactly what you'd expect. I think 41-7, I believe, was the final score. I mean, it's a homecoming game. It's the worst part of the worst week of college football, weeks 2 and 3. Like, fuck those weeks, man. Even for my team, like I watch these games and it's just like you can't even get excited at anything because it means nothing. It's just, eesh. And this week's no better because UM plays Arkansas State, also at home.
But that will start to change, think, to this Florida team playoff. People are going to try and stack these games together because of the strength of schedule.
Oh, that makes sense. That does make sense. All right, now we want to talk about, before we get into the games for this week, I know we wanted to talk about the unfortunate Ray Rice situation. For those who do not know, I don't know how you would not know. Over the summer,
you're under a rock somewhere.
Over the summer, there was a video released of Ray Rice dragging his unconscious fiancée out of an elevator, and obviously he was charged with sexual assault. He wasn't my bad. He was accused of sexual assault, not charged. But he admitted in a press conference, essentially, to apologizing for what he did. The commissioner only suspended him for 2 games. Everyone was outraged. And then last week, the video of him actually assaulting his fiancée in the elevator was released.
Actually, it was 2 days ago, kid.
Oh, yeah, 2 days ago. It was released of him in the elevator actually striking his fiancée. It's very tough to watch. And now the Ravens cut him, and the NFL will not approve him signing a new contract with another team, and the CFL also is not letting him join their organization. So it's very rough stuff right now. And Markeem, just what are your thoughts on all this, I guess?
Well, without getting too personal, I'll just say this. Roger Goodell, to me, his position has to be in jeopardy now, because like this is the NFL. Like next to the United States government, is there a bigger entity in this damn country than the NFL?
It's funny as it sounds. No, yeah, it's not.
Like,
It's not.
like to tell me, and I'm no genius, but I think I'm a fully functional, human being. To tell me that y'all are as powerful as y'all are, like CIA powerful, y'all did not see this video. Y'all knew of its existence, but chose not to see it.
I don't.
That just sends a bad message, man. Like it just does. I feel like, and this all happened under Roger Goodell's watch. I'm not saying it's his fault, but if something bad happens in your company under your watch, you got to pay for it. That's how I feel. Like you got to pay for it. Now I feel like Ray Rice should never be allowed to play football again. That's how I feel. Because like you knew all this was going on. And not even the fact that he did it. It was how he handled it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Almost to the point where, because people ask him what happened in the elevator. I don't want to talk about that. No, you talk about that, because I mean, like you need to be the most humble, and like with the way Michael Vick handled the dog fighting thing is how Ray Rice should have handled this situation, but he didn't. So I don't ever want to see him on a football field again. And I think maybe not fire Roger Goodell, but at least let's just examine some of the decisions he's made, because he's made some good ones. I don't want to just totally bury Goodell. I don't want to seem like that, but let's be honest, man. Like he's not the most trustworthy motherfucker in the world at this moment. Some of the things he's done, some of the decisions he's made, and to me, this is like one of the darkest days in NFL history. To know that they knew that tape existed, and for him to still only get 2 games, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. That is crazy.
I agree. I think, to go off of your Goodell thing, I think a lot of people. It's pretty eminent on Twitter, and as far as people that I know, they've wanted Goodell's head for a long time, and I've been one that's kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt with things and things and certain things like that. But the thing to tell me they didn't know, like you said, they're basically like an FBI agent. They have that kind of stuff. They could get the answers. They knew. I really think, and this really smells PR cover up. I'm not a conspiracy or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, I really feel like this is a PR move. They knew that video was out there, but look, you know what? We'll suspend them for 2 games. It won't get out. Whatever. Now it's out. They're their backs against the wall. They got to make a move. And when that happens, and to be exposed like that, you've got to be accountable for it. And I think Goodell's gonna take heat for it. He should take heat for it, as much as I've defended him in the past. And I just think that this whole thing was, they've got to have the structure of all this has got to get together. Because you got people make the comparisons of, you got Ray Rice beats his wife, punches his wife or whatever, gets 2 games until it's exposed, and Josh Gordon's face is out for a year because he smoked pot. And then you have LeGarrette Blount and Le'Veon Bell before a preseason game get caught, nothing happens to them. Something's got it. There's just not a solid ground when it comes to punishment. And then people are getting penalized for freaking face paint. There's some things like that just need to be the whole penalization, if that's the right word to say. All that stuff has got to be revamped. They've got to, in the off season, whatever they got to do now. I would say they need this is the worst. Goodell just needs to chalk this up as a loss and just try to make the best he can. And I don't know if I'd say, I totally agree with you, Markeem, but I don't know if I'd say I think that he never should be able to play football again. People make mistakes, but I totally agree. The year suspension should have happened from day one, but whatever. I don't know what else to say, but
I'll just say that the NFL, just to close this issue, the NFL's response to all the criticism is that they never asked for the video, which to me, or that the casino never gave it to them. Which is it's one or two things. It's either it's a cover up,
right,
or you were somehow so inept to not ask for the video, or the more likely scenario, a mix of both.
Or you didn't ask for it because you didn't want to see it.
Yes, you didn't ask for it because you probably knew what it had, so you didn't want to incriminate yourself. But yeah, again, it's all just it's all a very unfortunate situation. What can you do? But anyways, I'd like to move on from that unfortunate topic to get into more happier times when we talk about the upcoming games this weekend. We'll start with college football like we always do. Only 5 games this weekend. Weeks 3 and weeks 2 of college football are the 2 worst weeks of football of the year. Sorry, Markeem.
No, I agree. Hopefully this will change because of the playoff. Everybody's trying to get one of those 4 slots.
So, but we still have some games that we found to be somewhat interesting. So we're going to cover them as best we can. We're not going to cover the Canes game this week. We're playing fucking Arkansas State. If we lose,
Don't say anything, but
yes.
Think
In fact, I actually read like a very detailed report by one of the UM beat writers about how don't completely write off Arkansas State. And I'm just thinking in the back of my head, yes, I'm writing them off, or else our managers and coaches don't know what they're doing. So, cool. Yeah. So we'll start with your team, Markeem. East Carolina, Virginia Tech. You want to talk about this? Go for
it. East Carolina's defense is no joke. Like those dudes
I just saw them last week.
I mean, those dudes blitz from every angle. Yeah, I mean, they get up in you. They're physical, all that stuff. I mean, I don't think this is going to be easy to win at all. I think we win, but I think this game will be a lot closer than a lot of people will pick it to be. I think that we win by like 10 to 14 points. It won't be a blowout though. Like we're already riding, so high from what happened. It's Hokie Fest talking national title now and stuff, and I'm like, man, everybody calm down. Like I ain't even trying to think about that right now. Let's just go one game at a time. But I think this will be a close game. I think we take care of business though. Yeah, it'll be close.
Consider we beat them by 10. Y'all's defense is way better than us. Y'all should do good.
All right. I'll put Virginia Tech for all of us. Louisville at Virginia.
Virginia's a better team, man. I hate to say that because I hate them fools, but that pass rush ain't no joke. It seems like they're a little more, and they have a new QB who seems more disciplined. I forget the dude's name. He was going toe to toe with Brett Hundley. You know what I mean? So, I think Louisville wins, obviously, but this game could be closer than people think. You know what I mean? Like Virginia seems a lot better.
Phil,
I honestly have no clue about Virginia, so Louisville. I saw a little bit of the Louisville Miami game, but.
Arkansas at Texas Tech. You want to talk about this? I don't know why.
Okay, I want to talk about this because I'm not big Texas Tech, as you know.
Yes.
But Arkansas is a better team, man. Now I know people say that when they played Auburn, Nick Marshall didn't play in the first half, and you saw what he did in the second half, blah, blah, blah. Man, they put up 21 points against the defending SEC champions, and I think that's something. Regardless of what you think about,
their defense.
Auburn's defense. For them to do that compared to what they were last year, that is an improvement. I think this team would be better. I think they're a bold team. And I think they win. Even if I could pick Texas Tech, I would still pick Arkansas. I think they're, Alex Collins is a beast. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got them.
Phil?
I watched Arkansas Auburn, and I was impressed with what I saw from Arkansas. So I don't know anything about Texas Tech, but I agree with Markeem. They look like a bowl team to me. So, but I got Arkansas.
I'll go Texas Tech just to stick it to Markeem.
Now, Nick Marshall came in that game and was like, "Oh, what the fuck's going on here?"
Yeah. Then it got a little different. Yeah.
For those who do not know, it's on Markeem's record that he will never pick Texas Tech for the rest of his life.
What caused that?
That damn TCU game.
Yes, that's what it was.
And
I said I'll never pick either one of them ever again.
Yes, he will never pick Texas Tech for the rest of... It says on his record, I will never pick Texas Tech for the rest of my life. I'll never pick TCU for the rest of my life. I will never pick the Lions for the rest of my life.
Which is weird because I just picked them to win it down.
You just picked them to win the wild card spot.
Yeah.
I was about to say you didn't have them win the division.
So just go ahead and take that off. Just take that. But that was mainly because of Jim Schwartz, though. I said that.
Oh, you mean take that one off your record?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, that one's...
Man, I like that one. Every week it would be like, well, I can't pick the Lions, so
yeah.
it was funny. Week 2 will be the only time I ever pick the Jets. Do you want to leave that?
And that still will never change.
This was week 2 against the Patriots last year. For those who do not know.
And they lost. So.
In 3 years, Andrew Luck and RG3 will be the 2 best QBs in the NFL. You sure you want to keep half of that?
Man, yes, I'm sure. I'm sure, Devin. He'll turn it around.
You better get some help.
Phil's record, I found this to be hilarious.
Oh, good.
Last year, he said at the start of the year, the Chiefs will not make the playoffs. And then, later in the year, he said the Chiefs will win the division.
I do remember that.
That just, like, I'm not deleting that. Like, I'm keeping those 2 on there, even though it was last year.
Funny.
It's too great.
Yeah,
the Chiefs will not make the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs will win the division.
Oh, man, that's sports.
Do you have on there what week that was? I can't.
The Chiefs won the division, I think, was when they were, like, 9-1, I think.
Yeah.
The Chiefs will not make the playoffs was like.
Well, obviously preseason. Yeah,
he also has I will never pick Notre Dame for the rest of my life.
That will stay. I like Everett Golson, but nah.
And Phil said this last year, and I think it's really ironic because he did it again this year. But last year he said the Packers are not making the playoffs.
I said that last year?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because after Aaron Rodgers got hurt.
Yeah.
And this year, once again, Phil doesn't have the Packers in the playoffs.
They made the playoffs, though, right?
Yeah. So I'm keeping. I mean, you don't have them. You don't have them in the playoffs this year.
2 years in a row. People are gonna think I'm a Packer hater.
And then you also have Johnny Manziel will only be an average to below average quarterback.
I was wondering if that was still on my record.
The only one that I still have on my record that's plausible is Marvin Lewis will never win a playoff game. Sticking to that to the fullest. So,
I agree with that.
Never in since here, or just never.
Never.
Oh, you're saying never? Period. I thought you
never as a head coach.
Okay.
Like as like a defensive assistant. I mean, fuck, who knows?
Yeah, the running back coach.
So okay, I'm picking Texas Tech because fuck Markeem. And every time I see Arkansas play, they're always a mess. But Alex Collins is a stud. I've said very kind things about him before. So next we go to UCLA at Texas. Markeem.
I wanted to talk about this game because man, they cannot block at all for Brett Hundley.
Oh gosh, the offensive line is horrible.
And Texas, man, like David Ash is hurt, and they were embarrassing last week. I don't know. Like this game will be the ugliest, messiest game you will ever see in your life. I'm gonna go with UCLA just because Brett Hundley will be the best player on the field. But god damn, like that, this is gonna suck. If David Ash was playing, I actually go with Texas. Well, see, he's supposed to be out for like the next 3 weeks, I think. So,
Phil,
if he's playing, I go with Texas.
That offensive. I did see that offensive lineup from UCLA up close. It's not good, but hopefully Hundley can pull it off. I like him too much not to think he couldn't.
I've got UCLA as well. And finally, we have Georgia at South Carolina, a pretty notable game, one of the only ones of the week. Markeem, is Georgia finally going to go down?
No, not this week. I got them against South Carolina. Ty Gurley's going to have 200 yards rushing, and they win.
Good God.
Phil?
I wish I could argue that. I can't. After week 1, I would have said, I actually did say this. There's no chance in hell we beat freaking Georgia. But, I mean, I still think Georgia wins, unfortunately. But I think it could be closer than I originally thought, just because it's at home. We have nothing to lose, and then just it seems like we do always play Georgia. It's always a tough game, is what I was going to get at. So I mean, this wouldn't shock me if it ends up being closer, I think, but I don't see stopping Todd Gurley, like you said. I don't know about 200 yards, but
and even if they do. That play action and Hunter Mason is just going to kill him. And they have no one that can cover Michael Bennett. This will probably get ugly.
Yeah.
I think this will probably get ugly.
It should. Let me put it. It should get. If Georgia. Let me put it this way. I'll say this. If Georgia destroys us, like it's not even close, like Georgia's my odds-on favorite. So for a playoff spot, like. Because they're really I really like them already, and if they come out and do what they're supposed to do and destroy us, that would be even more. Like, I like Georgia this year. So.
South Carolina has one chance.
Mike Davis.
That's it. That's he's going to have to be like on his shit. Like he's going to have to be. I'm talking about positive yardage every time he touches the ball. Like he always has to be moving forward, like averaging like 6 yards a carry. If that happens, hey, whatever. I just don't see it happening.
Now we move on to the NFL.
Who you picking, kid?
I'm picking Georgia as well. I just think I'll put it on my record. Georgia makes the fort. I'm going to steal Ben Turpin's prediction. You see, but me and Ben constantly compete about who has the more miserable sports fandom. And I'm going to steal his line because I think it's very funny and very ironic. Georgia will not lose a game, will make the 14 playoff, and then lose to someone that they beat earlier in the year.
God damn.
Dang.
I'm going to put that Georgia goes undefeated.
Like Clemson. Watch this Clemson.
Clemson is not making the playoff. Are you smoking?
I mean, I don't think so, but that'd be hilarious.
But yeah, I got Georgia as well. I just think they're run like people don't understand how talented they are at running back. It's not just Todd Gurley. They have
you're right.
Like Keith Marshall, fucking Sony Michel, and this dude, what's his name, Nick Chubb, I think. In that Clemson game was like a little bowling ball out there, just constantly getting hit, constantly breaking runs. They have 4 backs that are very talented. Like even if Todd Gurley gets another injury this season, they're going to be fine. Like that's a very, very good team.
And now this year you can actually use Keith Marshall against South Carolina. They're not as big as they were up front. Like Rick wouldn't even use him last year against South Carolina and Bama because he was just too small.
Now we move on to the NFL round. We're going to start it off with the Dolphins at Bills. I'm going to go homer pick here and pick the Dolphins. They're not going to start sucking until midseason, as they usually do. But honestly, like the Bills game last year, we lost to them on the road. It was one of the most devastating losses of like the last few years, honestly. Just killed all our playoff chances. We still had another game, but the morale was just dead. Beating the Patriots at home was like the high. I was like Markeem after Virginia Tech beat Ohio State. Like it was one of the highest like moments of my time as a fandom. And the next weekend, I didn't just come back to earth. Like earth dragged me through the air and propelled me through the ground all the way down to hell. Like that's how bad it was with the disaster the very next week after the biggest win in 5 years. So I like to think the Dolphins are like really know how important this game is on the road. And I just don't trust EJ Manuel still. I know a lot of people say, oh, he wasn't that bad against the Bears. As Markeem Astuli pointed out, their defense is awful. I think against the Dolphins, especially when the Dolphins start applying a lot of pressure off the edge, I think he's going to panic when he starts seeing Cameron Wake approach his face, and he's going to make rush decisions and throw several key interceptions. So I got the Dolphins here. Bill?
I also have the Dolphins. This is a game that this is totally like I'm glad you said what you said because this is totally a game where like the Dolphins could totally just like we're gonna come back to earth like you said. I would hope for your sake and just for the fact that my wild card pick already. I mean I'm not gonna root for Miami or anything, but I hope they don't lose at Buffalo. But I got Miami. I think that defensive line is unreal, and if the offensive line can hold together, they shouldn't have a problem against Buffalo. Like really, they shouldn't. It's a division game, so I mean it's like I'm not expecting Miami to go out there and kill them or anything. But
Markeem?
If they put 8 dudes in the box this whole game and literally just blitz EJ Manuel, they'll win. I'm serious. Like every play. Just have him out there just running around in the pocket like some fool and throwing some stupid pass. They'll win. I'm so serious. They'll win. I mean, like, they can have 5 receivers line up and just put 8 dudes in the box and just blitz and he'll throw something stupid. Like, these dudes play defense. The Bears did not. If y'all expect what happened last week to happen this week, you all are foolish. I got Miami. Probably easily.
Yeah, baby! Starting that AFC, getting 2 wins in the division. This will, if Miami beats the Bills this weekend, they will equal their AFC East divisional wins last year already in the first 2 weeks.
They only had 2 last year?
Yes, because when we finally beat the Patriots, we got swept by the Bills. So we remain 2-4.
I could have sworn that. Wow.
Yes, we usually go 2-4 every year because we split with the Jets and the Bills, and like the past few years, like you said, not before, but since like 2010 or so, get swept by the Patriots, split with the Jets and Bills. Well, last year we split with the Patriots, then got swept by the Bills, so it was different. But yeah, I got the Dolphins here. Steelers, Ravens this Thursday night in Pittsburgh, I believe. Obviously, the Ray Rice stuff, I'm sure, like they say, oh, it's nothing. Players go through distractions every day. I got to think that this one might be weighing on some people. It's kind of a pretty significant effect. But, Markeem, I'll start with you. What do you think happens this week?
I think the Ravens come out and look very bad at the beginning. And somehow John Harbaugh pulls them together and they win this game really close.
And by the way, it's in Baltimore. I made a mistake.
Like this. I just think they're better than the Steelers. I think the Steelers' defense is really suspect, and Steve Smith can still play some football, y'all. He can still play some football. Y'all saw him last week, y'all know.
Yeah.
I don't think I think there's matchup problems all over the field for them. I think if they protect, Joe Flacco, give him a chance to fling it around, and they'll be fine. I think they win a really close game, but I think at the beginning, all the way like through the second quarter, they look really bad. That's what I think, just because of everything that's going on. That stadium's going to be really weird. Yeah.
Phil?
I think the Steelers win this game. I don't know why, but I just think that they actually got a good running game last week. I know the Browns, freaking came back after they were dominating them, but I mean Pittsburgh's not a very strong team enough to hold a lead. I don't think, but I just think they win this. I think Baltimore, the distractions are going to get to them as well. That's going to be part of it, but I don't know why. I just think Pittsburgh wins. Joe Flacco was not very impressive last week.
Oh no, not at all. He looked awful in the first half. Yeah, I got the Steelers as well. I acknowledge everything Markeem said. I agree with all of it actually. I just don't trust Flacco. Honestly, I think he's just not. He has not adjusted to the Gary Kubiak offensive system like I thought he would. I think the defense for Baltimore is better for sure. And like you said, Steve Smith can still ball. I agree with you. I just don't think he can get the ball because Flacco will throw some fluttering pass. I just don't trust them. I trust the Steelers. I'm high on the Steelers this year. I have them making the playoffs. I have them winning the division. I don't have the Ravens in the playoff picture at all. So with little information to go on because it's only week one, I feel comfortable just picking the Steelers based on that. Next game. Patriots, Vikings. I'll start with this. Vikings, baby. In my continued tradition of never, ever picking the Patriots. But in all honesty, before you all call me a homer and everything, the Patriots are going – it's in Minnesota, so the Patriots are going on the road. Mike Zimmer, the head coach for the Vikings, was the defensive coordinator for the Bengals last year. If you watch that Patriots-Bengals game, that was one of the worst Patriots offensive performances ever. They only scored 6 points. That it's the game that broke Tom Brady's touchdown streak. And Mike Zimmer constantly created creative schemes to constantly confuse him and the offense. So I think he's going to do it again. I think he's just a very, very smart defensive mind. I think that the offense for the Vikings is very underrated. The offense last year, Norv Turner, when he was with the Cleveland Browns, they were able to rip through the Patriots defense last year, if y'all remember that. And I have no reason to believe why Norv Turner couldn't do it again with another team that arguably has more talent on offense anyways. So I got the Vikings here. I'm going to predict the Vikings by 10. No, I won't go that far. But I got the Vikings here. I think they're a good team. So, Markeem?
I got the Patriots. I just can't see them going 0-2 to the Vikings. I think the Vikings playing outside is kind of a big, like in their, they no longer play in the dome. They play with the roof open. I think that's a big deal, man. I think, that's a big deal. It's cold in Minnesota, man. This is not, it's not like before where the dome was there. So, it's all comfortable inside. So the field really didn't matter. But now it kind of matters, man. I got the Patriots. They used that shit.
Philip?
Yeah, I of course have the Patriots winning this game. I will admit that with that Big Red has good points with Zimmer and North Turner and things like that. I just think the Vikings played the Rams last week. Played what is that dude's first name? Something Davis.
Austin Davis.
So, yeah, Austin Davis, third string quarterback for most of the game, and it's like Matt Castle is not going to do that against the Patriots. I don't think that he's going to do that against the Patriots defense. It'll probably be a problem for us to stop AP a little bit, but other than that, I just don't see us. And because of what happened to us last week, we're going to be even more trying to be prepared and bounce back. And it seems like Belichick always gets the team to bounce back. So I just don't see us losing to the Vikings. You bring up some good points. I'm not going to argue with that, but I just think that we don't allow that. They don't have the defensive lines is what gets us. that's what got us last year with the Bengals and the Dolphins. And I just don't think the defensive line of the Vikings is gonna bother us. So Brady's gonna get to whoever he needs to get to. Plus, who are they gonna have to stop Gronk? I don't think they're gonna stop Gronk either.
The Tom Brady decline.
But let me say this too. In the loss last week to Miami, we threw 56 times. That's got to stop, Bill. To run the damn ball.
Fair enough.
I can't stand when we throw that much.
Next we move on.
Oh, excuse me. My bad. The ceiling will be closed, but it doesn't matter. They're still going to lose.
Okay. I can't wait to brag about how right I was next week. I can't see the Patriots going 0-2. Most people couldn't see them going 0-1. They haven't been 0-1 in 10 years.
We won the Super Bowl last time that happened.
Oh, my God. That awful stat. All right.
It's a true stat. I know it's funny, but still.
Next up is the Falcons at the Bengals. I actually think this game is pretty interesting. I have the Bengals winning just because the Falcons are very unproven on the road so far. Obviously, yes, it's only week 2, but I really like the Bengals here. I think the Falcons defense, while better, still allowed the Saints offense is a tough one to handle, but I just think that Hugh Jackson is a very good offensive coordinator. He's going to come up with creative packages to confuse the Falcons defense, and I think Matt Ryan's going to try to outscore them, but the Bengals defense is a tougher one to score on. Essentially, at the end of the day, I just think the Bengals have an easier route to scoring points than the Falcons do. So even if the Falcons have a great offense themselves, the Bengals are at home. They were undefeated at home last year, except for in the playoffs. I like the Bengals here.
Who's going next?
You can go, Marky.
Just keep the order, yes.
I actually think the Falcons are going to steal this game. I think that, I know I'm crazy.
No,
Steven Jackson, I can't believe I just said that, but he's a momentum guy. And I think if y'all remember, when he was in St. Louis, he actually preferred a more physical type of game. And I think this is what this will be. I think they'll pound the Brock, more than they would before. And I think that'll open things, in the passing game. And I think that Andy Dalton will be forced to just shoot it out with Matt Ryan, I think, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be low scoring, but I think towards the end, that's what it will be. It'll just come down to Matt Ryan versus Andy Dalton, and I don't really trust either. Andy Dalton's my boy because of what he did at TCU, but Matt Ryan is better. Let's just be real. So, they got better receivers. I think that the corners really can't do much against Julio or Roddy White. It's going to come down to getting pressure on Matt Ryan, and last week that offensive line looked much improved. I think they steal this game. I think their collapse comes later in the season, not now. I think they start out hot and people kind of jump back on their bandwagon.
Phil?
Marquise, you sold a lot of what I was going to say. But a couple things I'll add, not to repeat ourselves, but I like the Falcons too. I think the Falcons, although they know the Saints very well, I think that's why it seems like they always play the Saints close. That's why that game went like that. But I just think the offense is too much for the Bengals. I like the Bengals defensive line, but I just don't think it's gonna be enough of a factor to stop the Falcons. And I heard someone say this on, I think, NFL Network or ESPN. I can't remember who said it, but it's like that offense is just, might have been Fox, I don't remember, but that offense just looked different with Julio Jones in it. Like I was watching a bunch of TV. It's hard to focus, but I remember seeing like that offense just looked like it clicked a lot more. And I just don't think, like you said, Markeem, there's not gonna be someone to stop Julio Jones. Devin Hester had a great game. Roddy White, all those other guys. So I just like the Falcons in this one, and I agree with you too. I think their decline comes later.
Next, we got Lions at Panthers. A lot of Lions love on this show. I'm going to give it to the Panthers just because it's the Lions are on the road. I think the Panthers are a frisky team. I think the Panthers can mitigate a lot of their offensive firepower, and Cam Newton should be back, and I think that he's going to be just fine with them. But again, you guys have your own opinions. Phil, thoughts?
You want me to go first? Okay. This is tough. This is in Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is tough. Dude, Stafford balled out. I know it's against the Giants, but that dude just impressed me. I'm going to reiterate that fact.
I think in terms from start to finish, that was the best game you ever played.
I would agree. He was making plays on it, and granted, it's not that hard to look good, but I'm talking about before he even got to Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson made plays too. Yes, he's a beast. Not taking anything away from him. But just the way Stafford, like one time I remember him like coming out of the pocket, looked amazing. Like it was just fun to watch, and I hate the Giants, so it was making it even better. But anyways, I like Stafford a lot. I don't know. I think this obviously he's facing a defense where the Giants, who knows what that is they call out there. I don't know. Cam Newton will start this game. Derek Anderson started the last game. I think
he was all right. He wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad, but Tampa. Don't expect anything from Tampa. I meant to mention that earlier. Josh McCann. I don't know. But gosh, I don't know who to pick in this game. I'm gonna say the Panthers by a little bit. I think the Lions are going to face a actual defense, so that's going to throw them off a little bit. So I'm going to go with the Panthers as much as I gave Stafford a huge love there. But Newton comes back, they're going to have that little boost. So I'll give it the Panthers. But I think it's going to be close though.
Phil, Marquis.
Wow, Phil. I like the Panthers, but for a little bit different reason than Phil said. I think that the Panthers front seven, Starr, Luke Kuechly, all those boys, they make it just hard for, Stafford for real. Like Stafford was making a lot of plays with his legs and stuff because that offensive line was breaking down against the Giants. And this is the Giants, you know what I mean? So I think they're gonna rough him up. I think Megatron goes ballistic though. They have no one that can cover him. I think he has a bunch of yards, maybe a couple touchdowns. I think they still lose.
Well, Calvin Johnson's gonna get his numbers. I ain't doubting that one bit.
Like they got nobody that can cover him. Nobody. So I got the Panthers.
Next up, we go to the Seahawks at the Chargers. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and pick San Diego. I know it's
Skip Bayless did this too, so
I don't
want to do this.
I just remember last year the Eagles after Week 1. Everybody fell in love with them. Oh my God, the offense is so fast. Oh my God, they're so amazing. The very next week, they went on the road at San Diego. And didn't go so well for them. San Diego goes on the road to Houston last year. Seahawks went on the road to Houston last year. And yes, they still ended up winning the game. But with the ball control offense, not with the ball control offense, with the amount of running, they couldn't neutralize Arian Foster very well, and Schaub, when he wanted to, could always find Johnson or DeAndre Hopkins on a play action as a result, and they made work of the Seahawks. And I just think the Chargers, with Ryan Matthews, with pounding him down their throats, and with trying to find Keenan Allen or Antonio Gates or Malcolm Floyd as well, I think the Chargers can give them a fight. The Seahawks at home against these high, powerful offenses, they make them look embarrassing. Like they embarrass the Saints. They embarrass the Packers. They embarrass the Broncos in the Super Bowl. But on the road against pass-happy offenses, they haven't been as dominant. Like the Colts last year, Andrew Luck freaking torched them with T.Y. Hilton. And the Texans even, they're not even
bring up that. Go ahead, Marquis. You want to insert your little favorite stat there?
Well, last year the highest QBR against them was 80.5. I wonder who did that.
The most amount of passing yards ever thrown on them was by Matt Schaub, so you know.
So what?
No.
Laundromat.
Laundromat. Oh, it's been a while.
But essentially, yeah, I think the Chargers pass-happy offenses at home against Seattle. It's all I have a weird feeling the Chargers win this one. A weird feeling. I'm predicting it. All right, I'm voting for them, because you guys are assholes. But that's my pick. Marquis?
See, this was a little hard for me because the Seahawks got to lose, right? They ain't going 16-0. Like, or are they? Who the fuck knows? But
they get Denver next week, so
that's a W.
That's a W for Seattle, or something?
Obviously.
Yeah. Well, it was the same thing like the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks just because I think this is the week because Phillip Rivers is a proud dude. I think he's gonna be the dude to try Richard Sherman to start the season, and yeah, like Aaron Rodgers didn't do it. He's gonna be the guy to try him. And not only just that, I just think that defense is too much, man. I think they're too much. I like Phillip Rivers a lot. Keenan Allen is a monster, but they just gonna put Richard Sherman on him, and you won't even hear from him for the rest of the game. So I got the Seahawks, man.
Phil,
Man, this is, in my view, I respect your opinion, Big Red, but this is going to be atrocious. Phillip Rivers is going to throw probably like 3 interceptions.
Oh wow!
Seattle is going to rape them. Like, I know they do have they have a problem on the road. You're right about that.
I really feel, Phil. God damn.
You're right about that. But to see that, and I know at home they play Green Bay at home, but this team is not going to. San Diego did not impress me Monday night. I'm sorry, I was not impressed at all. Got Phillip Rivers on one of my fantasy teams. Was not happy. I'm just saying. I don't think Seattle's going to crush him.
Mike McCoy.
The offense. By the way, the offense in that first half, actually, really first, you can say for 3 quarters. No one could catch the daggone ball. You think they're going to catch it against Seattle? No, I really think this is going to be easy. I got Seattle easily.
God damn, Phil.
Arizona.
I would be shocked if this was close. Legit shocked.
Arizona has a very good defense. Mike McCoy's a great head coach. Like, you're kind of writing them off too much here, man. Like, this is even though I
Phil said they're going to get raped. Like, damn.
Watch the Chargers. Chargers are going to win by like 8 now.
That would legit shock me. I'm telling you. I just don't see the Chargers being able to get it done.
Well, that's why they pay me the big bucks to call the right moves.
Shut up.
Next we got Jets at Packers. Markeem.
Aaron Rodgers, man. Do I need to say more? Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau versus Geno Smith in Lambeau. Nigga, Aaron Rodgers. Hey, come on.
I was actually going to say Aaron Rodgers is going to rape these fools too. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to worry about being in Seattle, that loud crowd. Like, New York barely beat the Raiders. Like, no.
I will say this. This game will be close, and if it was in New York, I would have picked the Jets.
Wow.
So, I mean, the Jets beat the Saints at home last year, so I don't think it's much different. I just think the Packers are also reeling off a pretty awful loss. They could very well be emotionally drained, and that could lead them to like a shocking upset here. But I just can't trust the Jets to pull this one out. Aaron Rodgers is just too good. I mean, you never know, though. Dom Capers couldn't stop Marshawn Lynch. Chris Ivory and Chris Johnson looked good last week. Geno Smith, highest completion percentage in the NFL last week.
They gonna get some numbers because that defense is terrible. The 2 best players is a guy that can't do anything with rush or passer, and another dude that's past his prime. Yeah, they gonna get theirs.
This game will be close.
Who's the? I know one of them, but who's the first one?
Clay
the guy that can't do it, Clay Matthews.
No. Oh, Clay Matthews, really?
What? Think about it. What real skill can you honestly say that man has besides rushing the passer?
Markeem said he was very overrated last year.
Like if he think about it this way, Phil, and I ain't trying to bring race into it, but let's just call it what it is. If he was some black guy with dreads instead of some white guy with long, flowy hair, you think he'd be as popular as he is? He'd just be a dude known for getting a lot. He'd be Robert Mathis.
Wow. That's fair.
Robert Mathis, it took a long time for him to get low.
Like he's been terrible against the run his whole career. Like Clay Matthews, I like the dude. He's an elite pass rusher, but that's what he is, an elite pass rusher, not an elite linebacker.
Was the other one you're talking about Julius Peppers?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I knew that one.
Past his prime like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Next, we got Bears at 49ers. This should be interesting, Markeem, because Markeem buried the 49ers for not scoring enough on the Dallas defense. Now they play the Bears defense. This is...
They better score this week. I know that.
For real.
They're literally playing, in my opinion, the 2 worst defenses in the NFL back-to-back. Like, they better score more than 14 points this week. I got the Niners, and they better score more than 14 points. That's all I got to say.
I got the Niners, and they should win easily, hopefully. And I just mean they should win confidently anyways.
Mark Trestman is a great coach. Mark Trestman is going to get this team on a better track this week. I think this game is a shootout, and I got the Bears in the upset.
Oh, if this is a shootout, I got the Bears. Like, if this is a competitive shootout, like the score is like 35-40, I got the Bears.
Bears have more talent on offense.
Like they better score more than 14 points. That's pathetic. That's pathetic, man. Colin Kaepernick, like, This is your season. You wanted all that money. This is the year you need to step up, bro. Because that team is going through so much. This is the year. No excuses this time.
We close with Markeem's favorite game. We'll let him go last. It's a tough one for him. His Eagles on the road against the Colts with his boy Andrew Luck. It's like Oregon at Stanford in many ways. And as far as who I'm predicting, maybe it's because I'm stat down on Chuck Pagano, but I really, really think the Eagles are winning this game. I know Nick Foles didn't look great last week, but I think he has a much easier defensive assignment this week than he did last week. Yeah, I said it. Colts worse defense than the Jaguars. And
oh yeah, who's gonna disagree with that, kid?
Yeah, it only stars out.
This one, even though it's in Indianapolis, I just think Chip Kelly's a much better coach than Chuck Pagano. I'd be surprised if the Eagles lose this one, to be honest. So I'll say the Eagles. Phil.
In that first half, man, Nick Foles acted. It's like he was trying to go ahead and get all those turnovers he wasn't able to get last year out of his system. And defensively, Eagles were atrocious. The Jack, a random not Marquise.
Yeah, no, Chad Henne was lighting them up, kid. I can't believe you said that.
Not named Marquise Lee. They're a rookie running receiver named Hun.
Okay, listen,
destroyed
bitch.
them.
His name is Alan Hearns, and he went to
Hearns. I'm sorry,
from the University of Miami.
I knew if you were saying something, he had to be from Miami. I knew if you were saying something. My bad, Adam Hearns. Did I say
Alan Hearns.
Alan. Oh my goodness, Matty Schaub. Whatever.
I said he would have been drafted a lot higher if he didn't have inept offensive coaching.
Okay. Well, anyways.
That's
just
speculation,
saying.
By the way, Phil. That is purely speculation. That is the kid being a homer, but go ahead.
But, can't stop him. But, I just was not impressed with the Eagles' defense. I think that they won't start as bad as they did against the Jags, but I think I'm going to go I just think Andrew Luck is going to do a lot better. The pressure of Sunday Night Football starting off the season against Denver. Monday. I know they beat them already, but I like them against the Eagles. I like the Colts winning this one. At home. All right, Monday Night Football in primetime, that'd be all right.
All right, Markeem, your teams.
I don't think I can watch this game. I'm gonna be real with y'all, man.
I'm gonna need to get on Skype with you for this game.
I love the Eagles. I've loved the Eagles since I was a kid. Andrew Luck is my favorite athlete in the world. Probably my favorite athlete since John Elway retired. That's saying a lot because Randy Moss is playing in, and we still got Darren Williams in the NBA. We got Kevin Durant. We got Albert Pujols still playing. You know what I'm saying? So this is hard. This is hard for me. Okay, so I'm gonna take my emotion out of it and just go purely football. All right, just purely football. Neither one of these defenses are very good. So this will be a shootout naturally, right? Shootout. I'm gonna go with the home team. Colts. Yeah, go with the home team. I want the Eagles to win. I do. I want Andrew Luck to destroy us. I want Andrew Luck to have the greatest numbers a quarterback has ever had against a team and lose. But, I just think that in a shootout, just go with the home team. So if you're not sure, because I'm not sure. But I do want to say, Phil, you might not have been here. You don't know. I think this is his breakout year. Andrew Luck, this is his breakout year. And if he's going to be what we all think he's going to be, the third year is usually the year where each quarterback starts to look like it. It was like that with Aaron Rodgers because he started his third year. It was like that with Peyton Manning because he pretty much shaved his interceptions in half. Tom Brady, that's when he started to become this elite guy that he, ended up being for a few years or for a sustained period of time. And I think with the weapons he has in place, he'll get better week to week, and that will be your MVP at the end of the season.
Dang, MVP? Andrew Luck?
Andrew Luck.
If that's the case, I was real close to almost picking the Colts to go to the Super Bowl.
So
I can't expect that defense. I just can't. But.
Yeah. Well.
So are you still going to stick with your other big prediction of RG3 winning comeback player of the year?
Not if he plays the Texans every week. I'll tell you that.
Oh man.
If he has to play JJ Watt every damn week, but
RG Slide.
Hey, come on, man, come on.
Who do the Redskins play this week? The Redskins play The Redskins play. We didn't.
No, that's not the Giants.
No, they play. Oh, the Jaguars. Ooh, oh, that could be interesting.
Redskins about to start. Redskins about to start.
The Jaguars' defensive line gave Nick Foles a lot of problems.
He did. That defense is not a joke.
Now they go against RG3.
Y'all done?
Vince Young the third.
It just hurts because a lot of that stuff is self-inflicted, but he's gone through a lot, man. Like tearing your ACL, your coach pretty much quitting on you. You know what I mean? And
his coach is the reason he tore his ACL.
Yeah, that too.
I still stand by that.
All right, that does it for today. Those are all the games for the week. We'll obviously be back next week to talk about all the games and talk about the new games coming up. It's been a lot of fun as always. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that,
glad to be back.
We are back. Glad to be back, and we are out.
Yeah.
See y'all, guys. Peace.